Testing, testing, mic check, 1, 2. Let's go. Today I want to talk about playfulness, a topic that means so much to me that I could go on and on. What were my struggles growing up with playfulness and wanting to express myself being playful? What stopped me? What blocked me? What helped me to foster play and what helped me open up to more play? Why this is important to me and how it's helped me in my life. I'm Shaheen. I believe we all learn through experience, both our own and the collective experience of others, and we all have something valuable to offer and share so we can learn and grow. I'm not a guru, I'm not a coach, I'm not an expert. I'm not here to give advice, nor am I claiming any truth. I'm just here sharing my experience, my wins, my failures, my highs and lows, and the lessons that I've learned from those experiences. So if anything resonates with you, take it. If not, let it go. Often the term inner child is used and it's become a hot topic in recent years, and I hear it so much. And why is that becoming more and more important? And why are so many people looking into inner child work? I'm going to share my experience with that. My entire life, I felt like I've always been playful. I was always silly. I was always like the weird kid in the family. As time went on, what happened through adolescence and through my teenage years is that I started feeling isolated and I felt like I was the weird one or the odd one out. And I started expressing that playfulness less and less and less. I'm going to share why I feel I was blocking myself or not allowing myself to do that. I feel it's conditioning, society, everything that I grew up around, and my culture. And especially as I got older, getting into high school and leaving high school, that playfulness, I believed the story that I should grow up and become more serious. Now it's time to focus in different things. And that playful side became less and less expressive for me. I want to quote one of my favorite quotes from George Bernard Shaw. We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. And that one really stuck with me. Years later, why did I not do that? What was stopping me from doing that? Sometimes it was self-judgment. Very often, actually, it was self-judgment because I would do something and maybe someone said something, whether it be a family member, a friend, or a teacher, and it made me shrink. And those words were really powerful, like calling me weird or silly or dismissing my playfulness. A story and conditioning built up within myself where I guess I believed that story and became shy. That little inner child of mine and that playfulness shrunk. What brought this back for me? How did I find it again? What ignited that playfulness for me? A few things in my experience. When I discovered circus arts and music festivals, I discovered a different set of people, a different community to what I had grown up with. Different exposure, and I met these people that were playing just for the sake of playing. No outcome, no goals, no reason to do it, just for the sake of having fun. And for the first time I felt like, wow, like I was like in a big carnival, weird, wacky, wonderful world with all these playful creatures. And yet I admired them and I watched them, how expressive they were, and I was laughing. But at that point, I had been so conditioned with my own self-judgment. I merely observed all these wonderful creatures just being playful. And this was particularly at music festivals and in the circus and flow arts community. What I realized from this is being surrounded by the right kind of people, being surrounded by people that were like-minded, that really supported me to help me come out of my shell again. I felt as if that not only did they inspire me, but because everyone else was there, it gave me permission. And in deeper reflection, over time, I was holding myself back because of my own stories. And by being in a like-minded community with supported individuals and people that were on the same wavelength that I learned how to give myself permission to be more playful, to be accepted, and to accept myself. And it was really a journey of self-judgment and stories that I had created because of my upbringing, to the point that I just dived into it. It brought me so much joy. A big reflection for me was there was no outcome in the play. There was no goal. There wasn't a destination that I needed to reach. It was just a feeling of joy. And a question that I would like to ask you, when last have you played just for the sake of playing? Nothing to do, no outcome. When have you just played? Why is this important to me and how has this helped me? Being playful and bringing playfulness and joy, number one, has just opened my heart to just pure joy. Nothing else. And that feeling of joy sparked curiosity within myself. That strength that I learned to give myself permission to play made me more curious, made me more willing to try, like a kid, exploring with full openness and curiosity. That's how that really impacted my life when I started taking on new challenges in my relationships, in my communication, learning new things, learning new hobbies, in my professionalism and jobs. That playfulness and that willingness to try and curiosity really helped me so much. The playfulness in my relationships fostered connection. Being playful, finding my friends and my family to be really playful and to share a laugh together. It inspired other people to be more playful, and it brought that playfulness, and that for me really just brought joy and connection. Example that I wanted to share, another thing that brought that out for me was dress up, going to dress up parties and fancy dress parties. And why this was so important for me, it was profound for me, made me access other parts of my personality or exploring different states of mind. I'd like to share a story of playfulness, judgment, and how overcoming all of those things led to me choosing playfulness. In 2016, I was part of a social circus project called Performers Without Borders. Look them up, they do amazing work. I was part of a team teaching social circus throughout India and Nepal as a volunteer. And in Nepal, there was this really cool shop where they had a strawberry hat, which looked like this. And I saw this strawberry hat and I was just like, wow, this is amazing. It's so ridiculous. Like, who has a strawberry hat? I bought the strawberry hat and one of my team members saw me with the strawberry hat and he laughed at me and he was like, dude, like, why did you buy a strawberry hat? Like, what are you going to do with the strawberry hat? And you know what my answer was? What am I not going to do with the strawberry hat? And I think back to that moment and I could have shrunk by his judgment or his comment. But at that point, I was so stoked with the strawberry hat. Like, it brought me so much joy just for the sake of, yeah, it's pure ridiculousness to have a strawberry hat. Why do I need a special occasion to wear the strawberry hat? Why can't I just wear it? And I've had so much fun with the strawberry hat. And yes, sometimes it's going to get attention, which is something that I've learned to deal with. Or sometimes I'm going to get looks. But you know what? It brings me happiness and it brings so much smiles and joy. A reflection that I want to leave you with. When last have you been playful just for the sake of being playful? And what is something that's been in your heart or in your mind for a while that you've wanted to do, that you just haven't gotten around to doing it for whatever reason? I encourage you to look into that. I hope you play more.